carbonated water leukemia, citric acid, taurine, natural sodium bicarbonate, magnesium carbonate, colours, caffeine, niacinamide, pyroxidine XHCI, which is vitamin B6, calcium pantothenate, vitamin V12. Your boys took one hell of a beating. I'm, of course, listing the ingredients to Red Bull. Leukemia, how you doing? Liverpool did edge past RB Leipzig in a testy encounter in the back end of it.
Yeah, it's difficult for you, this, isn't it? Because you are a card-carrying Monster Energy brand guy.
Yeah, I don't like to celebrate Red Bull's work.
I think it was probably a lot of the time spent on the phone to the legal experts. Was it your representatives? Can I cover a game at the Red Bull Arena? Can I cover a game with Red Bull sponsorships on the front of a team shirt? Is it possible? Because you are Monster till you die. And I think it's very. I think before you
and I will die quickly if I keep drinking it.
Before you analyse or bring any kind of content whatsoever to today's show, you need to make it clear your affiliations.
I've got the helmet.
Put the Monster Energy drink helmet on. Do the show with that on.
I've kept quiet for too long. I'm not a Red Bull man. I'm a Monster Energy drink man till I die, as discussed, which may be quicker than I hope. At the end of this coverage, Peter, you have to say we approached Red Bull and Monster Energy drink and neither of them were available for comment. You have to give them a right to reply because of your that's very, very thorny, continuing relationship with Monster Energy drinks. It's making our lives very difficult indeed, and my family's as well. Yes, Liverpool did beat RB Leipzig away from home. 1 goal to the good there. Darwin Núñez opening the scoring, but I'd say that doesn't necessarily tell the tale of that goal. Is that fair to say, Luke?
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a big debate, wasn't there? With I've realised that. Why have you taken your Monster Energy drink helmet off?
It was really scratchy, and that's the Monster Energy promise. I think it had staples in it. I don't know why.
I feel like it is a kind of fresh type of hell listening to a combination of Darren Fletcher, Steve McManaman, and Rio Ferdinand try and work out whether a goal was already going in or not. And whether it was post. Look, it probably was already going in. Darwin Núñez needed a goal. Mo Salah was pissed off when he got subbed off, which I'm sure we'll come on to later, but he always seems quite pissed off when he was subbed off. You want a striker to be closing in and finishing the job there. You want him to follow his natural instinct. And it was kind of funny because he obviously clearly wasn't offside, but Loïs Openda for Leipzig up front spent the entire game offside. It was remarkable how often he was caught offside in that game, but Núñez wasn't, and he made sure of the goal. And that was important for Liverpool for sure.
He did, and I mean, I will say that Darren Fletcher, that wasn't his worst work of the night. At one point, he did ask whether Núñez should have to take Salah out for a pint. I don't think he wanted to say that, Darren. Actually, no. Salah being obviously a Muslim, it was as you said.
Who would want to go out for a pint with Darwin Núñez? It'd be fucking it'd be like going out for a pint with you.
It'd be chaotic, wouldn't it? He'd be off his head on energy drinks for crying out loud. I mean, is it fair to say that Núñez played quite well tonight, and he is looking a lot better this season under Arne Slot? And is it? I just get the sense that Núñez was like the baddie in this match, and the Leipzig fans would not leave him alone. And he looked really up for it. And is Núñez better when he's either shit or getting dogs abuse?
He gets dogs abuse wherever he goes. It's a very Uruguayan trait, isn't it?
I suppose. I just get the sense that when he's loved or good, he's bad at football. Do you know what I mean? Someone can be good and bad at football at the same time.
And I don't think his return last season was too bad. 11 goals in the Premier League, 8 assists. Yeah, he's just not started. I think he's only started 1 game in the Premier League so far this season, right? So it's not really got up and running and got firing yet. But yeah, I think he's fueled by the hatred people have for him. But I mean, there's a lot of players like that, particularly South American ones. Núñez poached a goal from Salah. It was an absolute shithouse of a steal if it was already going in. He almost scored again not long after with a lovely hanging header, but it was a great save at close range from Peter Golashi. So he probably should have had a penalty as well. I don't know what you made of that
one
incident.
out. I mean, I've watched that a few times, and it, obviously it did go to VAR, didn't it? And was it the speed of the move at fault, really, that he'd kind of knocked it past the player, and they probably felt that he didn't have full control of the ball because he was going so fast, and he is chaotic at his heart. Was that? Did a little bit of his kind of own culture come into
check for that, do they? I don't think they roll like a Dungeons and Dragons chaos dice.
It's probably like a D100 or something. Yeah, I mean, like I just get the sense that Núñez can he like one-on-ones where he's sort of like, oh, you know, your XG is really, really high. He generally misses, but like whacks from outside of the area that no one's got a hope in hell of hitting. You just get the sense that he's always going to put them away. He is chaotic at his soul, at his core, and I just think that the VAR must be taking that into consideration.
Do you think the VAR thought that because the ball was going way out of play? I can't remember if it was almost even out of play when the challenge was made, but there was no way he was going to get the ball after, meant that factored into their decision. Because if they did think that, I mean, really, look, if that's the goalkeeper coming out and doing that and cleaning him out, that's giving us a penalty all day long. Like, you see those penalties given all the time. Strikers are really cute at nicking it around a keeper or nicking it over a keeper and waiting for the contact, and that always seems to be given as a penalty. So I think he can consider himself pretty hard done by. And I thought that actually until Liverpool scored, they were a bit jittery. Actually, I think the goal settled them down big time. And it was absolutely ideal for them to get a goal, because I thought early on, you know, Alexander-Arnold got caught out a few times. They looked a little bit, like I say, a little bit jittery. Loïs Openda had an amazing goal ruled out in the first half. Like, I mean, he was offside. I mean, he's like 2 or 3 yards offside, like over and over again.
His second one was a bit closer.
Yeah, relatively speaking, compared to the other ones, but the one he scored where he rifles it into the top corner, it's just, it makes you a little bit sad, because you're like, I don't care who wins out of these two teams, but when you see a goal like that, you think you want it to stand. Yeah, but it can't stand because he's quite literally breaking the rules.
You really can't. Yeah, it was chaotic at times, and you say like the goal settled them down. I think honestly the form of Kelleher really he made some good saves, because what an able deputy. I mean, I don't know when Alisson's back, but he's been out for a little while, and if you've got someone who can come in at, I mean, it wasn't a super important match, and people will say that Liverpool haven't really played anyone of any substance thus far, and this was probably one of their sterner tests from a pretty decent league. They are going to go on to sort of test their mettle and prove what a good manager or non-good manager Arne Slot is this season, because their run from here until Christmas is pretty.
It's a tough one.
It's a pretty tough one. So from the first few games from Liverpool, ending at this point in the season, how do you think they've done?
Yeah, they've done well. They've done what they expected of them. Chelsea was a test, wasn't it? And they came through that. This is a weird one, because it kind of was a test, because Leipzig are clearly capable, and I thought they came into the game a lot midway through the second half, and they had a lot of chances. I mean, Kelleher made a decent amount of saves. I think I'm right in saying that Leipzig had 6 shots on target of varying qualities, and Kelleher was up to the task. But then, having said that, Leipzig have been very poor in the Champions League this season. They haven't won a game yet. But again, to flip it the other way again, they're undefeated in the Bundesliga this season. They're joint top with Bayern Munich, so they're clearly very capable.
They have retired offsides this season in the Bundesliga, though. They're not doing that anymore.
They must have done, because I'll tell you something now. They must have done that, because Loïs Openda has scored 4 goals in 6 starts in the Bundesliga this season, and there can't be any other explanation for it. But
the chance at the end for Openda was really interesting, where he opted to sort of square it.
One time he wasn't offside.
He's like, I don't like it.
I think he probably was even offside then.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was. He squared it, and it was almost a bit like.
Of course, he was.
The thing is, that was a bit like he's making the calculation in his mind. If I just pass it, maybe they'll forget I was offside, and the goal will stand. Like,
maybe the other person can be offside, because I just love offside so much.
He's playing and living in a pre-VAR world, hoping at some point he gets away with one, and he's never going to get away with one in modern football. But no. Going back to Liverpool, this was an examination for them. It's away from home. Like I say, Leipzig are capable, and they've got through that as well. Obviously, a massive test for them on Sunday against Arsenal, and as you've already said, it starts to ramp up now. The only game they've obviously lost this season was against Nottingham Forest at home. Bit of an anomaly after the international break. Blah blah blah. They've got Arsenal away, and they've got Brighton, they've got Villa, they've got Man City as well coming up at the start of December. So we'll see. But from Slot's point of view, I said this on Monday. He's done so well because he's just gone there and been himself. And it's kind of a case of so far, so good. We'll find out a lot about Liverpool, I think, when they go to the Emirates, because Arsenal, of course, have been the standout second-best team in the Premier League this season. Last season and the season before. They come off the back of a difficult time of it when they obviously lost to Bournemouth and lost their discipline a little bit as well. So that's a fucking great game. It's one of the games of the season so far in the Premier League, so we look forward to that. But as for the game tonight... they got a win. They got through it, and that's what they had to do.
Cheers for watching another fantastic clip from the Football Ramble podcast. Make sure you click like on this video and subscribe to the channel, which means you will not miss a single upload.